All right, so the very last piece of developing a really great financial forecast is understanding the profit calculation. And I want to back up because there is something that we talked about in the Jumpstart Your Year challenge, and I want to make sure you have this sort of nugget of information in your head before we go further. If, when you planned your expenses, you put in a salary for yourself and you're paying yourself, great. If you didn't, great. For both scenarios, the profit is going to indicate something a little bit different. So if you planned your salary into your expense estimate, when we calculate the profit for your business, that profit can really be used to do a couple of things. It can be used to reinvest back in your business, it could bonus you or bonus your employees, etc. On the other hand, if you did not build in a salary, and many solopreneurs will run their business this way, they won't put in a salary because the intention is truly to take 100% of whatever that profit is in the business, or to take lion's share as your profit and reinvest some other percent accordingly. So I just want you to have that in your head, that the profit number is going to mean something a little different depending on where you put the money that you're paying yourself. Either option is okay, so you don't need to go back and redo it. Now, this is what we're going to do here. For the income estimate, all you need to do is go pop into your own income estimate, the one that you built, and plug up the grand total number into that column. So I'm just going to use the example one. So I would scroll down to the very bottom, and here we have that total number, 36,750. So I'm going to come over here and put 36,750. Okay? Then we want to get the expenses. So let's just use the example budget here. And the total expenses in this file are 20,302. Oops. So let's come over here and put 2302. So in this completely made up business, the profit estimate would be $16,448. Now, let's just assume in this case the salary for the owner is not built into the business. Then that means that this profit, 16,448, would be the owner's take, or some percent of it would be, and the rest could be potentially invested back into the business. You follow me? Now, you may look at that and say, like, that's not acceptable. That's not what I want. I don't like the number that's here. Maybe your expenses actually exceeded your income estimate. That's good to know. Maybe the number seems astronomically large, like your profit estimate is, let's say, $500,000, and you think, I don't know that that makes sense either. So I do want you to use a layer of scrutiny here to really get a sense of, does this make sense? You're gonna have to go back and look at both files on their own, and in the next module, we're gonna go through how you evaluate your forecast. But the next piece of this is setting your goals. And what I'm going to ask you to do is wrap your mind around having 3 different goals every single year that are financial. And this is how I want you to think about them. 1, what is your wimpy goal? By this I mean, with like almost certainty, without doing a heck of a lot of anything different in your business, this is the amount of money you believe that you can make. And here I've proposed that you could set 2. You set an income goal, which of course comes from that spreadsheet, and the profit goal, which of course is the difference between the income and expenses. So let's say that your wimpy goal is to hit $30,000 in profit, and that means that you would need to generate, in this case, we're assuming that you have $10,000 of expenses, you would need to generate an income of $40,000. Now, the next goal I want you to set is a middle of the road. And middle of the road means it's almost certainly the plan that you've built. It's what you've put on paper to say, like, yeah, I'm pretty confident that if we grow our business in these ways and we put in this type of effort and energy, meaning the activities in your roadmap, we're going to be able to generate this type of income. Cool. So in all likelihood, middle of the road is going to be the goal that you show up with inside of these 2 spreadsheets, in income and expenses. Now, the last one, I encourage you to set a stretch goal. I like to call this hairy scary. This is the goal that is a bit beyond. It's beyond your comfort zone. It's beyond the current estimates for your business. But if you were to hit it, it's pretty wild and pretty awesome. And the reason for setting these three is to really allow you to see a range in your business, because I think oftentimes we need to know what the low end is so that we can have a sense of like, are we in survival mode at that spot, or are we living an okay life? Middle of the road allows us to see, like, with pretty high degree of confidence, if we're executing the plan as we've built it, we're going to be able to generate that income. But hairy scary serves a very interesting purpose, which in my world is like, it lets us set our sights bigger. There's no need to focus on this small number. And the example that I'll give you is that many times when I work with one-on-one clients, I'll say, well, what amount of money do you want to make? And the answer will go something like this. Well, I mean, I'm comfortable making like $50,000 a year, but I really want to make 100,000. Okay. Well, all I'm interested in is helping you get to 100,000. I don't want you to live at this like all I'm comfortable with level, because to me, that's where we're sitting really close to survival mode. It's where we're not really challenging ourselves to grow. It's where the fire is truly not sitting beneath you to grow your business. Now, let me say, your number can be whatever it is. It doesn't need to be anything like the examples we've shown. It doesn't need to be $100,000. It could be 40, it could be 40 million. I don't care. It needs to matter to you though. And I think for all of us, regardless of your relationship to money and how you feel about finances, I just encourage you to challenge yourself to show up in a way that feels authentic to you, and understand that money is what allows us to live a vibrant and robust life in many, many ways. It's simply an energy exchange. And just like when your customers and clients come to you and pay you for what you've done, you then take your money that you've earned and you go buy and pay for other things that are meaningful to you. And that's how we exchange energy around the world. So know that money is simply facilitating. It's facilitating who you are and how you want to show up in the world. It's not inherently bad. It's not inherently good. It's what you do with it that really matters. And this is why for you to be deeply rooted in your understanding of what life you want is going to help you to identify these three goals so that they mean something to you. Make sense? All right. If you have any questions or you hit any roadblocks on this part of the exercise, do reach out and let me know. The very last part of this module is looking at an evaluation, how we can look at what we've generated in these pages before and really understand if we've done the right work or what needs to change. I'll see you there.